Does this look familiar? You've finally finished your chores, settled into your favorite spot on the couch, and just as you pick up your phone to scroll through your feed or reply to a message, as if by an invisible alarm, your furry supervisor appears. What follows is a full-blown performance: insistent meowing, attempts to climb onto your chest, a paw covering the screen, or even a tiny, gentle protest nip at the corner of the device. No, this isn't just your cat being extra. And it's certainly not a feline conspiracy against modern technology. In reality, your pet is navigating a complex emotional process. Behind this behavior lies a very specific psychology, not a desire to annoy you. Today, we're going to explore why that little slab of plastic and glass has become your cat's #1 rival, and how we can restore peace to the household without giving up our digital lives. Welcome to everyone who loves cats and wants to understand their companions a little more deeply. You're in a space where we look into the feline soul through the lens of science, tranquility, and love. Our topic today might seem everyday, but it touches on the very foundation of our cat's health and behavior. We'll uncover why a smartphone is perceived as a living rival, why it's actually more stressful than a loud vacuum cleaner, and how to teach your fluffy friend not to be jealous of the screen. Let's dive in our usual cozy manner. To start, let's realize one vital thing. To your cat, you aren't just an owner, you are their entire universe. Cats are incredibly sensitive to the slightest shifts in our presence. And here lies the catch. When you pick up a smartphone, you're doing something inexplicable from a biological standpoint. You stay in the room physically, and your scent is still there, but mentally, you've vanished. You freeze, your gaze becomes fixed, and you stop reacting to the flick of a tail or a questioning look. To a cat, this looks like the sudden disappearance of their leader and friend. You've fallen into the black hole of the screen, and the emotional connection is severed. The smartphone becomes the ultimate thief of your attention. Your cat sees you looking at this glowing object with more interest than you show them. This is perceived as a direct intrusion upon their territory and your relationship. After all, a cat doesn't understand that there's a person or a video on the other side of that glass. To them, the gadget is a sentient rival that has literally stolen your soul. Now, let's look at why this quiet, glowing object often causes more stress than loud household appliances. You'd think a massive, roaring vacuum cleaner would be the ultimate monster. But as it turns out, the smartphone is worse. The noise of a machine is a predictable, short-term stress. A cat knows the rules. Run to the other room, wait under the bed, and in 10 minutes the world returns to normal. The vacuum doesn't want your love, it just breaks the silence. The smartphone is different. It doesn't scare them with loud noises, but it steals something far more precious: your emotional involvement. And it does so regularly for hours on end. Whether it's a phone, a laptop, or a tablet, any object that hijacks your focus triggers deep frustration in a cat. The smartphone has an intensified effect. It flickers, makes strange sounds, voices come out of it, and yet you completely ignore your cat's presence. For them, this isn't just an annoyance. It's a steady erosion of their trust and sense of security in their own home. But how can you tell what your cat is trying to say in those moments? Look closely, because their actions aren't random. They are clear signals. Almost all of them are desperate attempts to pull you back from the digital abyss. Your cat is going on the offensive. It might start with a specific tone of meowing, trying to drown out the voice of the invisible rival in the speaker. Then comes the physical contact, insistent headbutting or jumping into your lap to physically block your view. If that doesn't work, they bring out the heavy artillery, a paw swipe directly at the display or pointedly lying across the keyboard. Some more temperamental cats might even hiss at the phone or try to bite it. This isn't boredom. This is pure emotion. If your pet is calm the rest of the time but a storm starts the moment you go online, you're looking at classic jealousy. Your cat is simply trying to restore the balance and bring their human back to the real world. Interestingly, the rival isn't always a smartphone. Many of you have likely noticed that cats react just as strongly to paper books, newspapers, or even knitting. The psychological pattern is exactly the same. The moment you stop being here and now, and your gaze fixes on anything other than your cat, they feel a sense of alarm. you become unpredictable. Your cat feels abandoned and seeks to reestablish contact in any way they can. They don't lie on your book because they want to read. They do it because it's the most effective way to force you to look into their eyes. However, it's important to distinguish this jealousy from other issues. How do you know it's a protest against the phone and not just a difficult personality or something more serious like an illness? Some behavioral issues can look similar but have different roots, like generalized anxiety or boredom from a lack of stimulation. The key difference is the trigger. If the irritability or clinginess is constant, regardless of whether you have a phone in your hand, it's worth looking deeper and perhaps consulting a vet. Jealousy, on the other hand, is tied to the moment. The phone appears. The behavior changes. The good news is that this war with the gadget can be stopped, and through very peaceful means. Cats don't understand our explanations about work emails, but they are masters at reading our behavioral rituals. Your goal isn't to fight your cat, but to make sure the phone stops being a symbol of your disappearance. There are a few simple but powerful methods to bring harmony back to your evenings. The first method is what I call the attention sandwich rule. Try to give your cat just 2 or 3 minutes of intense, active interaction, petting, playing, or talking, immediately before you plan to dive into your phone. And then do the exact same thing right after you put the device down. This gives the animal the feeling that the phone is just a brief pause in your connection, not a wall that has gone up forever. The second point, try not to ignore your cat completely while you're online. If they approach and touch your arm while you're reading the news, don't reflexively push them away. Pet them with your free hand without looking away from the screen. This sends a signal. I see you, I feel you, you are still part of my world. This simple acknowledgement of their presence can instantly diffuse a rising conflict. Another surprising but effective tip is to simply talk to your cat while you're holding your phone. Cats are very oriented toward our voices. When you stare at a screen in silence, you are off to them. But if you start narrating what you're seeing or just saying their name softly while you scroll, you remain alive and engaged to them. Your voice acts as a bridge between the virtual reality and your shared home. Finally, it's very helpful to set up a cozy spot or a bed right next to where you usually use your gadgets. If your cat can feel the warmth of your shoulder or hip while staying in their own space, they'll feel less of a need to storm your laptop. And of course, don't forget to reward calm behavior. If your cat is peacefully napping nearby while you work, give them a treat or an extra scratch behind the ear. This builds a new positive association. When my human has that glowing thing, it's warm, it's quiet, and sometimes I get snacks. For a cat, closeness isn't just about being in the same room. It's about feeling included and valued. A smartphone that whisks us away to another reality often creates an invisible barrier with our most loyal friends. But breaking that barrier is easy if we remember that to our pets, we are always number one. The problem isn't the technology, it's how we use it. Save a little bit of your pure, undivided attention for the one who waits for you all day, and your phone will stop being an object of resentment. In conclusion, our cats are perhaps the last creatures on Earth who force us to return to reality. Their demanding meow in response to an open messenger is a gentle reminder that life is happening right here and now, in the warmth of their fur and the rhythm of their purr. I hope these simple tips help you and your feline friends understand each other a little better. Because at the end of the day, no notification in the world is as valuable as the trust of a creature that has chosen you as the center of their universe. Thank you for spending this time with us. Take care of your cats, cherish the quiet moments, and don't forget to put your phone down once in a while just to watch how beautifully the light hits their whiskers. If you enjoyed our conversation today, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. How does your cat react to your smartphone? Do they stage protests? We always love reading your stories, and if you feel at home here on our channel, consider subscribing so you don't miss our next walks through the world of feline psychology. See you soon, and may your home always be filled with the sound of happy purring.